Hi, everybody. I hope you're doing well. I just wanted to take a little bit of time to talk to you about our new schedule that's going to be going into effect when we return from spring break. So, as you might have seen in my email blast, we're going to be starting a new schedule starting Tuesday, March 23rd. That's going to have our in person learners on campus for full days of learning, 4 days a week. So, with this new change coming up, I wanted to go over some of the details about this schedule and also answer some questions that might be on your mind to give you a clearer picture of what this is going to look like so that you can make the best choice possible for your student as we get ready to wrap up the third quarter and start the fourth quarter after the break. So with that, let's talk a little bit about that new schedule. So again, starting on Tuesday, March 23rd, we'll be starting that new schedule that will have in-person learners coming into the building for 4 full days, Monday through Thursday. So for those parents who still prefer to have their students working remotely from home, they'll still have that option through the end of the school year. So if that's where parents are most comfortable having their students work, that's still an option for the rest of this year. Fridays will still be remote learning days for all students, so do keep that in mind. That's going to be one of the things that stays steady as we shift into this new schedule. So some of the questions that you might be wondering about as we get ready to launch this new schedule, what's going to be different about it? Again, the biggest difference is that in-person option for students to come in Monday through Thursday. School will start at 7:30 a.m. and will dismiss at 2:40 p.m. in the afternoon. Another difference will be cohort classes will meet Monday through Thursday after second block for about 30 minutes. So in-person students will report to their cohort teacher's classroom. Remote students will check in with their cohort teachers through Zoom. In addition to that, another change will be on Wednesdays and Thursdays, our schedule will no longer be flipped in sequence. Right now on Wednesday and Thursday, we actually start our day with fourth block and go to third, second, and then first. So things are in reverse orders on those days right now. When we come back from spring break, we'll go through the normal sequence, first, second, third, and then fourth block. So hopefully that'll give a little bit greater continuity and a little bit less confusion as we get started back up. One of the other questions that you might have in mind is what will be the same with this new schedule? As I mentioned earlier, the schedule on Friday will still be the same. It'll be totally remote. Students will be checking in with their cohort classes in the morning. We'll still be offering that remote help session via Zoom for all students if they need to get some extra time with their teachers. And the afternoon will still be dedicated for teachers to have time to work, plan, and collaborate with each other. Definitely a question that I would imagine is on the minds of a lot of you are what are the health and safety measures that we're going to be taking when we come back with students in person for longer periods of time. The two newest changes I've highlighted at the top to make sure that those stand out. So the first one is that the minimum distancing requirements in classrooms has been reduced from 6 feet to 3 feet per Wyandotte County Health Department guidance. So whenever possible, we will still try to spread students out with more than 3 feet between them, but please know that that is our new minimum within classroom spaces. So do keep that in mind. In addition, since we're going to be in person for 4 full days, students will now be eating lunch when they're in person. So students will be eating lunch with their third block class. So lunches will be brought to the classrooms, and that's where they'll be able to spend time eating their lunch. So just keep that in mind as well. That'll be a little bit different now that we're going back to full days of learning. Besides that, everything else is going to look pretty much the same with regard to health and safety measures. Students will still need to wear a mask or face covering over their nose and mouth at all times, except when they're eating breakfast or lunch. Aside from breakfast or lunch, no other food will be allowed in order to minimize that time where students are unmasked. Students should maintain social distancing whenever possible. So before school, after school, during passing periods, and other transition times, please do keep that distance in mind and keep things moving as much as possible. And speaking of that, students will still be transitioning directly from class to class with minimal passing period time. Again, just to try to avoid those times when students would congregate or cluster together in larger numbers. I'm just going to try to keep things moving and traffic flowing to keep everyone safe. The last question I was going to bring up was this one. Can parents still change learning modes? So, with all of this information, some parents may want their remote learners to now transition to in person learning, or some parents of in person learners may want to transition their students to remote learning. That is an option. So, yes, absolutely, parents can still change their students' learning mode. I will be sending out a Google form via email, so please check your email. So if parents want to make that change, it's a super quick survey, very, very simple. They can fill that out and make that switch if it's something they would like to do. The only thing that we would ask is that parents only complete that Google form if they want to make a change. If they want their student to stay in their current placement, that's okay. They don't need to do anything. We'll just assume, parents, that if you want your student to stay where they're at, we won't hear from you. All right. So that'll help streamline the process a little bit, that parents only complete that Google form if they want to make a change. All right. So with that, I wanted to spend a little bit of time going over the schedule itself, just so that you can see it, kind of see it on paper, how the day is going to flow and transition, and just give you a clearer picture of what these days are going to look like. So I'll be sending this out via email, so you'll have this to refer to print off, to keep for your own records if you need it. So that'll be coming out through your email as well. So as we take a look at the schedule, you'll see that there are some things that are very much the same. Mondays and Wednesdays will still be purple days. Tuesdays and Thursdays will still be white days. All right, so you'll see that there's a pattern Monday through Thursday as to how the class periods are going to transition and flow, and what the order of it's going to be. So as you take a look at our Monday through Thursday schedule, we'll start with first block followed by second block. Those class periods will still be 88 minutes in length, as they are right now. One of the differences I mentioned earlier is after second block, students will check in with their cohort classes. So again, in-person learners will go to their cohort teachers' classrooms. Remote students will check in with their cohort teachers via Zoom. So they'll spend about half an hour there, where that'll be time for them to work on assignments, get caught up on things, possibly work on some things like Zello. Some of our SEL lessons will still get rolled out through cohort classes, and possibly students could get assistance from their teachers via Zoom. We won't have students traveling from classroom to classroom as we have in the past during that seminar period. Again, just to reduce that traffic flow, and to avoid having students coming and going here and there and everywhere during the course of the school day. So they'll stay put in their cohort classes when they're in person. Then they'll transition to their third block, where they'll have an opportunity to eat lunch with that class, and then close out their day with their fourth block teachers. All right. As I scroll down here, you'll see that our Friday schedule again looks the same as it does right now. So we'll have cohort check-ins in the morning, that online help session via Zoom, and then the afternoon dedicated to teacher meeting, planning, and collaboration time. So we're hoping that this schedule, even though it is a little bit different and it does have students in person for 4 full days if they're choosing that option, there are still some similarities to our current schedule. So hopefully it doesn't throw students off too much, but hey, we'll help support, answer questions, help them in the transition when we get back from spring break to get used to a new routine. So, having said all of that, we're excited to have our students coming in person a little bit more frequently. 4 full days is going to be great. And at the same time, though, we definitely understand and respect the option of having that remote option for our parents who may still want their students to be working remotely through the end of this year. So as has been the case throughout the school year, we want to offer that choice to our parents so that they can make the best choice possible for them, their students, and their families. So having said that, we're looking forward to a strong finish to the school year. And if we can be of help with anything, if you have questions about the schedule, or if there's anything on your mind that we can help clarify for you, please don't hesitate to reach out. So with that, thank you so much. We appreciate everything, all your encouragement and support, and we look forward to partnering with you for a great fourth quarter. Thank you.